I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're exploring a powerful book. It is called Times to Weep, Laugh, Mourn, and Dance, Living with Schizoid Family and Faith by Carrots. This powerful memoir, written by Kristen Suzanne Atkinson, delves into her family's battles with schizophrenia and schizoid personalities, highlighting how faith in God helped her navigate these very, very difficult challenges. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Brookside Press for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Kristen, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan.
This is quite a book you have written. Tell us why you decided to share your story with the world.
Well, it was my wish to educate and intrigue people with the true story and to help people with schizophrenia and their families.
Yeah. What are schizoid personalities?
A schizoid personality is in my book. I'll tell you what it is. It's characterized by resulting from, sending toward, or suggesting of schizophrenia.
Okay. So it's basically schizophrenic tendencies or indications of
Yes,
schizophrenia.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. My little brother was completely schizophrenic.
Mm.
Yeah.
And when was he diagnosed and how did it manifest itself?
At 20.
Yeah.
Yes. At 20 years old.
Did he start acting out? Tell us about his journey.
Well, he broke a window once, and then he was talking to people he was talking to his sunglasses in a library, and she called the police because she'd never met someone like that.
Yeah.
But they knew who he was, so they took him to Arrowhead Regional.
Right.
And because he would roam around the neighborhood a lot, he was recycling. And some neighbors that he gave recycling to, they took him to the recycling place and let him do that.
Yeah.
And then
so he was having some delusions, basically, right?
he was having delusions. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was talking to his sunglasses, and he would sometimes tell my dad that there were ants in the tuna salad, and there were no ants in the tuna salad.
Right.
Yeah. So, but after my dad passed away, I got him into board and care, and they gave him his medication on time, but were giving him Haldol, so I took him out of there because that's not what he needed. And then I got him into 2-room and boards, and then I got him into the best board and care ever. And then he stopped eating, and he couldn't feel his hands or his knees. And he was supposed to have a test on February 8th, but on February 1st, he was at Arrowhead Regional because he'd stopped eating. And so I went to see him there, and he looked emaciated, and now he had pneumonia. And I had my power of attorney sent when my ex-husband and I were signing papers for our house in Riverside. And then I went out there, and I stayed for 2 hours talking to him. And then I said, let him go. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done, but he was dying of pneumonia. And so I said, let him go. And it was really hard.
Yeah.
But
how old was he at the time?
He was 60.
60.
So
he had struggled with this his whole life.
Yes, he was ADHD when he was a little boy, but then he became schizophrenic when he dabbled in drugs, and boom, that was it. He was schizophrenic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
When he was 20, how old were you?
I was 27.
Yeah.
He was almost 8 years younger than I was.
Amazing.
He was an oops baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
amazing. But he
but
became your responsibility through a lot of your adult life.
Responsibility after my parents died, and I loved him very much.
Yeah.
But my dad was a preacher for the Church of Christ, and he became a Baptist. And my dad said, that's okay. They're our cousins. So this preacher went to see him. His name was Tracy Johnson. And he went to see him in his board and care. And then I had him do the funeral. And then he married us because the guy in the Church of Christ said that we hadn't committed adultery, so he wouldn't do it.
Mm.
And so, but I got Tracy Johnson to marry us, and that was wonderful. He did a really good wedding ceremony.
Mm.
We got married October 22nd, 2022.
Well, you're still a newlywed then. That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
kind of. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You titled the book Times to Weep, Laugh, Mourn, and Dance. Tell us a little bit about that title and what it means to you.
Okay, well, it was in Ephesians 3, and I wrote that because that's what it was like for my dad and me to live with a schizoid personality older brother, a schizoid personality mother, and a schizophrenic son. And he never left this house until he died.
Mm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
Having a
anyway,
mother who's schizophrenic must have been the most difficult aspect of
well,
your.
no, she had a schizoid personality.
Okay,
Yeah, Tim had a schizoid personality, and so did she. And then my little brother was schizophrenic.
okay. So she wasn't full-blown schizophrenic. She just had tendencies that indicated
Right.
that. Yeah, but
Right.
that still must have been very difficult growing up with a mother who had some
Yeah.
mental health struggles like that, right?
Well, she was really good to me when I was a child, but when I was 16, she became jealous of me.
Mm.
And then she thought my dad was having an affair with a woman at church, and her name was Nancy, but he wasn't having an affair. He was a preacher.
Yeah.
And but she'd see Nancy, and if Nancy's slip was showing, she'd jerk her slip down to look like
Mm.
Nancy. And then I took her out to dinner once, and she was spitting mad, and she said, "Your dad, he's probably," I said, "I don't want to talk about it, Mom. He's your husband.
Mm.
He's your husband. You talk to him about it." Because I was her child, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about it.
Amazing. What was it
Yeah.
like for you having to relive some of these memories by writing the book?
Well, Tim tried to beat a train,
Mm.
and there was a wigwags on Barton Road, and he saw the train coming, and he drove his his Sebring on it, and he punched the accelerator,
Mm.
and because he punched the accelerator, it died,
Mm.
and it drifted onto the tracks, and he got out just in time. But he was mad because he got a ticket, and mad because he lost all of his 8 tracks. And then he was married to Gail, and she divorced him. And then I texted her or I told her that he had a schizoid personality, Gail, because she
Mm.
divorced him. And then when he was there, he was sleeping with another girl. So his second wife, Pam, grabbed the baby Kyle and ran off to her dad's.
Mm.
And then he followed them. And she probably told her dad, "Daddy, he's cheating on me." And he said, "Do you need anything? Does the baby need anything?" And she said, "No, we're okay." And then Tim followed them, and he put his fist through the window to get his son back. And he severed his artery, the one that people slice when they're trying to kill themselves.
Ugh.
And her dad had just done a laundry, and he grabbed a towel and he came down on his wrist. That man saved his life.
Amazing.
And he had to ride all the way to the hospital with him and not take it off until he was in surgery. But he did that for my brother.
Mm.
And I
Amazing.
couldn't believe he did that for my brother.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
What do you credit for helping you get through these challenges in life? Is it your faith? Is
My
it
faith,
it is your
my
faith?
faith,
Yeah.
my faith, my faith helped me get through it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, because every member of my family is gone now, but I'm spiritually very, very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's
Well,
buried next to my parents, and then I bought the plot next to him so I could be buried with my family.
mhm.
Yeah.
What do you hope readers take from your book?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What do you hope readers learn or take away from your book?
I hope that they are educated about schizophrenia, And if they have anybody schizophrenic in their family, that would help them. That would help them. And I put that on the back of my book. I said, the purpose of this writing is to encourage, enlighten, educate, and intrigue readers with photos, poetry, and history. They are all deceased, and I know I will be with them in heaven.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Well, the name of the book is Times to Weep, Laugh, Mourn, and Dance, Living with Schizoid Family and Faith by Karis. It's a powerful memoir written by Kristen Suzanne Atkinson, and it delves into her family's battles with schizophrenia and schizoid personality, and it highlights how her faith in God helped her navigate these challenges. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight, Kristen.
You're very welcome, Logan. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I
And
appreciate
thank
the
the
time.
audience too. Thank the audience too.
Absolutely. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.